Dear student, very happy day for the Department of Periodontology. I am myself, Dr. Sai Ganesh, professor, going to discuss dental plaque, one of the main etiological agent for the periodontal diseases. We'll see the subtitles for the dental plaque. The content, that is of subtitles. First one is a definition, classifications, composition of dental plaque, formation of dental plaque and biofilm differences, then microbial specificity of the dental plaque, criteria for identification of the pathogens, then plaque control measure in brief, and finally the conclusions. Definition, most very important definition we are following it out still now is the WHO definition of 1978. It is defined as the specific but highly variable structural entity. These words are very important. Specific but highly variable structural entity. Because definition should be in the definition. It should not be written in a one word. Resulting from the colonization and growing of microorganisms on the surface of the teeth and consisting of numerous microbial species, more than 500 microbial species and strains are found embedded in extracellular matrix. This is a definition for the WHO definition for the dental plaque. As we can able to see very simplified definition from the latest book, that is the second edition of South Asian Karansa Clinical Periodontology, what we are referring now. Defined clinically as a structure with resilient yellowish or yellowish grayish in color that will adhere tenaciously to the intraoral hard surfaces, including the removal and fixed restoration. These are the two types of the definition, but for the Viva was most of the examiner preference the WHO definition only, that will be makes it very complete. After the plaque formation has been taken place, what will happen actually? The plaque can be converted into calculus. Adhering, the calculus is a calcified mass adhering to the surface of the natural tooth and processes. And which one is very dangerous, whether the calculus or plaque? Calculus is one of the agent for holding the plaque. The plaque microbes are very dangerous. Calculus is one of the storage place for the plaque to accumulate. What is called metal alba? The next one you have to see it out, because biofilm, metal alba, calculus, these all are very closely related terms. You should know the differentiation. It's nothing but consisting of the immunological cells, desquamated dead cells of the host, and it is consisting of microbial cells which are randomly, not in the proper way, randomly arranged and loosely adherent to the tooth surfaces and even the gingiva or in the mucosa, etc., etc. So that is called metal alba. How do you classify the plaque? The plaque can be classified into two categories. One is a supragingival, another one is called subgingival. What is called supragingival? That is the plaque that can be found in the tooth surface, that is cervical third of the tooth, that is coronal portion, that is a coronal supragingival plaque. When it is found to be in the very close to the marginal gingiva, it can irritate the marginal gingiva and causes a gingival bleeding, inflammatory sign, or it can be redness also. That is a marginal supragingival plaque. Subgingival plaque will be of tooth associated, unattached and tissue attached. There are so many differences will be there. We see in the future classes. This is a pictorial and diagrammatic representation for the gingival margin, the plaque supragingival found in the gingival margin, and we can able to see this is pictorial structure for the microscopical picture structure for the subgingival plaque, that is having the three portions. One is a cementum, that is the root portion is covered by cementum, that has been attached by the plaque, that is called tooth attached. Then on other side, the necrotic tissues will be there. You can able to see long retifex are found in that area. So you can able to see the migration of the cocci and bacilli bacteria, plaque bacteria into the epithelium and connective tissue, even touching the alveolar crustal bone and make it vertical or horizontal bone loss can be taken place. That is called as a epithelial associated plaque. There is another one plaque that is a lying in between this unattached tooth or attached to the epithelium is called unattached plaque. They are the motile moving plaque microbes. Mostly their motile rods will be there. You can able to see ANAC is caused because of fusiform fusiform and spirochetes. So that type of the spirochetes are very dangerous. So this unattached plaque is more dangerous than attached to the tooth or epithelial surfaces. The next one, what are the difference between the plaque? Depend upon the location, the plaque that can be seen in the coronal to the margin of the gingiva is a supragingival. Apical to the margin of the gingiva is called subgingival. And what are the minerals are, nutrients are earned from the composition, nutrient, everything earned from. For the supragingival plaque, it is mostly from the saliva. That is a salivary glycoprotein. Subgingival is taking the origin from the GCF, most probably. You can able to see very clearly the less virulent initial formation of the microbes can be seen in the supragingival plaque, that is gram-positive cocci. When it comes to the subgingival plaque, that's a more dangerous. That is a gram-negative motile rods. Aerobic become anaerobic. That's a microbiological shift will be there because that ecological system can favor for it actually. So the different type of temperature, and we can able to see different type of oxidative potential, and there is a different types of the pH level and different type of the oxidation tension in the area of the supragingival and subgingival. So when the plaque is going deeper into the pocket, the organism virulence will be more. It can be, we can able to see about the few fermentative organisms can become producing the proteolytic putative organisms also. So these are the things you have to come across. And facultative anaerobic, obligative aerobic become facultative anaerobic also. So the microbial shift, they are become more virulent when you go deeper into the subgingival and very go deeper into the depth of the pocket. That is very important thing you have to understand. Then I want to mention very important Viva question to you. What is the shape of the supragingival? You can able to see the left side, it looks like corn cob. Okay. It having lot of streptococci adhere to the filaments of the Bacterionoma matricioti or F nucleatum. That is a Fusobacterium nucleatum. Subgingival, you can able to find it out. A test tube like brush because mostly dominated by rods. Okay. So these things will be asked as a MCQ question to you. So these are the differences between the subgingival plaque attached to the tissue, attached to the tooth, unattached. I told you the subgingival plaque, especially unattached, is very dangerous one, very virulent one, because you can able to see in the microbial load itself. It's a gram-negative rods will be there, filaments will be there. The spirochetes that can be a motile microorganism that can be seen by dark field microscope itself. That should be very important thing. It can either attach to cementum or attach to the epithelium and get migrated into the cells, and they can able to produce rapid damages also. What is a composition? There are two composition. One is a microorganism. Next one is the microorganism embedded in some gelatinous base that is called intercellular matrix. We'll see what are the things. Then what is a biofilm, sir? The term biofilm is nothing but is indefinable microbial community. We can't able to define it out. How is it associated? What is the arrangement of this thing? These are the microbial community will be there most probably. Nothing can be there. It can be on the two surfaces or hard non-sitting materials. This is the most probably the one of the definition or explanation for biofilm. Now we are coming to that area. What are the composition of this thing? I told you microorganism, and it will be found in the gelatinous base will be there. What is it consisting of? It consisting of mostly 20 to 30% of the flock volumetric mass by the intercellular matrix. It consisting of epithelial cells and the leukocytes, macrophages, and other type of the host cells, and also micro or organism cells will be there. Organic materials. The organic materials is consisting of mostly polysaccharide dextran 30%, and we can able to see protein albumin 30%, glycoprotein will be there. Lipid also consists about 15%. Supragingival plaque, usually it is getting the compositions from, I told you previously, saliva, subgingival from GCF, that is gingival clavicular fluid. Then I told you exopolysaccharide, that is a gelatinous base. What are the uses of the base? First one is they can maintain the microbial integrity, and they can make the microbial adhere to the two surfaces, and they can prevent the desiccation, that is separation of the microorganism from the two surfaces. And when using the chemical method of plaque control, the mechanical method of the plaque control is very efficient for plaque removal. When you use the chemical method, it is also efficient, but when the exopolysaccharide, the base, gelatinous base on which the microbe will be there, that is the one of the incubation zone or protective zone. It can't able to penetrate into the thing, that antiseptic mouth rinses or solution, and it can able to damage the cell wall or cells. That is the very important function of this, what is called as exopolysaccharide. This is the mostly the backbone of the biofilm. And the next one is nutrient supply. It not only protecting the microorganism, it can multiply the microorganisms so that the strength of the microorganism can be increased actually. So what will happen, you can able to see that is quantitatively it can increase us that by the help of essential nutrients can able to get into the what is called that biofilm, and they can able to do the exchange of the waste material outside, so that the survival rate will be there and multiplication will be there. And acting as a buffer means making the environment that is suitable for existing bacteria, and it has to grow. So these are the three very important things that can be done in this case of exopolysaccharides. Inorganic material mostly consisting of minerals, calcium, sodium, phosphorus, potassium, and fluoride. That will be in the traces, it has been mentioned. But in our college, in our Vinaya Mission General College, surrounding area is Ariyanur. That is the more prone for the fluoride. When the persons, habitants or peoples are coming there, having the underground water, well water, they are more prone for it. 1 gram of, this is very important, CQ question and Viva question. 1 gram of plaque contains approximately 2 into the 10 to the power of 11 bacteria. This is by Sokransky and Schroeder in 1953 and 1970. So we can able to see there is a change in shift in the bacteria. Not only bacteria can able to do all these things, there is also non-bacterial organism in the plaque will be there. That is yeast, viruses, protozoa, and microplasma species will be there. That should be taken into consideration. Then formation of dental plaque, what can we do? Number one, the formation can be taken place within 30 minutes, that is a pellicle formation, but you can visualize the tooth after 1 to 2 days if you are not caring for or there is no oral hygiene, practice can be done. The formation of dental plaque, pellicle is number one. And number two is there are two types of pellicle. One is called as developmental, another one is called upward. Initial adhesion and attachment, that is called a primary colonization. Then maturation or secondary colonization will be there. We can see the formation of dental pellicle. We can able to see it out. Upward pellicle and also the developmental pellicle. Upward pellicle, you can able to find it out in the way that can be formed upon the tooth surface by the glycoprotein and other things. But what is called as a developmental pellicle, that's a dental cuticles during the developmental in the cases of the what is called amelogenesis and other things that can be seen in the oral histology chapters. So within 30 minutes, there is a formation of pellicle will be there. Within a day, it can increase its size in diameter 0.1 to 0.8 microns. So this is the important thing, the aqueous pellicle located upon the tooth surface. Tooth surface acting as a negative ion, cation, and aqueous pellicle consisting of phosphoprotein, histidine-rich protein, proline-rich protein, mostly protein, enzymes like amylases and other types that are the adhesion sites for the bacterial receptor that is acting as a negative anion, cation and anion. So opposite ions attract each other. That is electrostatic force. Then this aqueous proteins, that is a positive, attract the fimbriae or flagella, that is a tail-like, or the cytoplasmic organelles for attachment of the microorganism acting as a negative ion. So negative, positive, negative, opposite pole attract each other. These are the functions of dental pellicle. I told you it's a protective barrier and it's supplemented with the what is a nutrition supply supplement, lubrication, prevent very important tissue desiccation. What is how the initial adhesion and pellicle formation can be taken place? Transport to the surface, the microorganism, adhesion can be taken place, attachment can be done, strong attachment, then colonization can be with the growth. These are the 4 steps in this thing. Transport to the surface is done with the help of the Brownian motion and sedimentation, liquid flow, active bacterial movement that is due to the chemotactic activity. So the microorganisms are, we can able to say, the immunological cells can attract towards the microorganism. That is called chemotaxis. Chemo mean chemical, taxis mean movement. You write in the general pathology. Then initial adhesion, this is not very much important to the UG level, but you have to know there are 2 types of the range of forces will be the long and short range will be there for a distance of 50 nanometers. These forces are called Gibbs, total Gibbs energy. So very important how the mechanism of the pellicle attached to the tooth surface, the salivary glycoproteins and other type of the protein, the pellicle can attract the microorganism attachment apparatus by the help of 3 mechanisms. Electrostatic forces, I told cation, anion and cation. Van der Waals forces, physics, you can able to know it out. Hydrophobia, phobia means fear. So water fearing factor. So water is one of the important desiccation agent actually. So that can be avoided here. Attachment, how the attachment can be taken place means the more than this thing, the bonding will be stronger. Most of them are, there are 2 types of attachment that will be called in the single term, stereochemical attachment. What is called stereo means the bonding, that is called as depend upon shape of the receptor, depend upon shape of the bonding agent, they can bond by recognizing that thing. Or ionic, I told you electrostatic forces, or we can able to see about hydrogen bonding or sulfur like that. Some of the area you can able to say hydrogen or sulfur can able to intermediate what is like a sandwich between the pellicle and microorganism to be taken place. When you come to the area, what are the microbial things you can able to come across? The flagelles, fibria, fibrils will be there. This is called also pilia. These are having the different characters, mostly protein, glycoprotein attachment area. So they can able to attach to the what is called as a tooth surfaces, especially the pellicle by electrostatic forces. This is a very good example I'm giving you. The fibria of A. nasalandi, that is Actinomyces nasalandi, is a gram-positive oral bacteria, the initial formation bacteria that will having a type 1 and type 2 fimbriae. That is because of the difference is only acidic proline found in the type 1 and we can able to see the glycosylated receptor in the type 2. So it will get attached to the salivary pellicle type 1. Type 2 is getting attached to the other oral cavity cells and other oral streptococci. So this is a very beautiful things you can able to see it attached to the tooth surface as well as to the other oral tissues also and other bacteria also. These are the diagrammatic example for stereochemical attachment you can able to see here. First, you can able to see host glycocytic or glycoprotein mean there will be some bonding can be taken place in between that area. That will be rolling as a glycoprotein will be in between area it will acting as host cell surface glycoprotein glycon. These are the area you can able to see the structural bonding. You can able to semicircular bond. I mean, can get the circle of the yellow color circle to get hold of the like a key in the what is called as a lock. And the third one is host cell surface integrin. Integrin is one of the material, chemical material. So the fibronectin is one of the things that can get attached to some of the areas. Then there is a colonization, early colonization, and followed by block maturation is the third stage, secondary colonization. Early colonization is having the streptococci and actinomyces species are there. They're using oxygen for the growth. Secondary colonization is a more virulent organism. Prevotella intermedia, Prevotella and Capnocytophagia, Fusobacterium nucleatum, P. gingivalis will be there. Then, when there is a primary colonization has been taken place, the secondary colonization after the multiplication, they have become strong in the survivability. They have to go and get attached to some other microorganism, and strength has to be developed. That is called qualitative. Qualitatively, they become more strong by the help of attaching to the virulent organisms will be there. That is called co-aggregation. Two bacteria having a same cell-to-cell recognition of genetically distinct pattern of the cell type, they can highly attach with the help of specific stereochemical interaction. That will be more important for this thing. Mostly the primary colonization can be done with the help of the less specific interaction. It may or may not hydrophobic, electrostatic, van der Waal, but secondary, very specific, that is a stereotypic that can be genetically monitored. You can able to see co-aggregation bridges will be there. Some of them non-co-aggregated, some of the bacteria that can't able to join together. There is one intermediate bacteria that is, for an example, like a bridge forming between the two non-colliding or non-co-aggregating bacteria. You can able to see one side of this thing blue color. You can able to see there is a actinomyces will be there. Another one side you can able to see that some cocci will be located here. Actually, these are joined together with the help of a what is called as a rod-like shape is called Prevotella. You can able to see PK1295. The red color will be you can able to see. These are bridging between the two non-cooperative and bacteria, so you can able to find it out. This is an example for co-aggregation. It's very important. Bridging is a 2-mark question. Co-aggregation is a short notes to you. It can be having gram positive, gram negative, aerobic to anaerobic, etc. will be there. For an example, Fusobacterium nucleatus more virulent get attached to the primary colonizer. Yes, sanguis. The Actinomyces viscosus get attached to the Prevotella. Then Capnocytophagia. Capno means that is a carbon dioxide. Cyto means the cells. Phagia means destruction. So using the carbon dioxide, they are surviving themselves and destroying the host cell is called capnocytophagia. They can get attached with the Actinomyces viscosus, that's a less virulent bacteria. These are the binding capacity, you can able to see it out. But the later stages, this co-aggregation become more aggressive and it can be taken place in the different gram-negative species. For an example, Fusobacterium nucleatum, that is very important thing. That is one of the main microbial bonding between the primary and secondary. You can able to see it out. I told in the first thing itself, giving example to a sanguis, it's a Fusobacterium. But not only that thing, it can able to do with the most periodontal pathogens. That is the most aggressive periodontal pathogen is called P. gingivalis, and also with the T. denticola, Treponema denticola. These all be seen in the red complex. I will come to that area. So these are the later stages. The virulent organism joined with much more virulent or the best virulent, better virulent can combine with the best virulent. Okay, from the less virulent to more virulent, then become more virulent to better virulent get the best virulent. These are the things you can able to come across. So this is a diagram I want to show it to you. The tooth on which acquired pellicle consisting of so many types of the salivary glycoproteins. Actually, so many types of the protein, proline, other types of the protein and enzymes, proteolytic enzyme like amylase like that will be there. And upon this thing, different colors, you can able to see the bacteria. The color is very important indication for that. It's like a triangle, like a tripod. You can able to see from the what is called the violet color to blue color, then to the green color. At last, the orange and red will be there. So this will depend upon this thing, and you can able to see the diagram. Receptor adhesion will be there. This is called the bond, covalent bond, stereotypic bond. You can able to find it out. These are the primary colonizer, less virulent. Streptococci will be coming in the group of yellow color. Actinomyces coming in the group of blue, light blue color. And you can able to brownish color or magenta brown color. Veonola species will be there. These are less virulent species. When it becomes a secondary colonizer, Echinella corydon, Capnocytophaga, Actinobacillus actinomycetum committan. The Actinobacillus actinomycetum committan is an important microorganism for the aggressive periodontitis as per the classification of AAP, American Association of Periodontology in 1999. And it's a more virulent organism. The latest name for Actinobacillus actinomycetum committan is Agrobacter actinomycetum committan. The next one is you can able to see orange category, a Campylobacter rectus, that is very important. F nucleatum, Fusobacterium nucleatum will be there. This is the thing, and a Prevotella intermedia will be there. This is the next one they are forming out. Third one is very important, PIC, that is a red color, that is called as a red complex of the plaque. It's usually asked the Viva question, 2 mark question, and very important to know. P. gingivalis, Propheromonas gingivalis, Bactrioid Forsythus, Trephonema denticola. What is the need for P. gingivalis and Prevotella intermedia? Like that thing, what is the thing, sir? Actually, its old name is generic name is actually family name is black pigmented bacterioids. When the black pigmented bacterioids having 3 variants, we can able to find it out. P. gingivalis, Propheromonas gingivalis, that is a newer name. Prevotella intermedia, and one next one is called as the Melanogeniscus, third variant. We can able to say when they are incubated in a culture media, that is a chocolate agar culture media, they can produce the melanin pigmentation, that's called Melanogeniscus. When they not producing anything, half of the thing, that is called Prevotella, Prevotella intermedia. Then they are not at all producing anything, it should be a blank. This is called Propheromonas gingivalis, PHY, Propheromonas, PHY, POR, PHROMY, Pheromonas, MONUS, gingivalis will be there. This will be the lecture I want to give it to you. Actually, with a thank you. This is a part 1 has been finished in the block because it's a wider and bigger chapter. We have to know it out. In part 1, I covered the portions, that is definition for the take-home message, definition for the WHO of the dental plaque. Then we have to see about unattached plaque, supragingival, subgingival plaque. What is a microscopic shape? That is a cone hub shaped or ear of corn for supra, and subgingival will be about test tube brush, bottle brush or test tube brushes. And you can able to come across the unattached plaque is more dangerous. Plaque is more dangerous than the calculus. Then what is a biofilm? That is not arranged in the proper way. When there is a metalloalbum means the microorganisms are non-distinct and we can't able to determine that thing. These are the basic differences. You have to know it out. Calculus is a calcified mass. It's a Nikkei, what is called as a base for the plaque to hold. So plaque is more dangerous. Then the formation of the plaque will be taken place. That will be 3 steps. One is a pellicle formation, and followed by you can able to see the primary colonization. That will be having the 3 colorations. You can able to see about what is the yellow coloration, and we can able to see about the brown colorations. Microorganism will be located in that area. Then the secondary colonization, green coloration, orange coloration. The Fusobacterium nucleatum is a very important role in binding all this thing. And with a red coloration, that is a very aggressive periodontal pathogen, more reliable, very aggressive is P. gingivalis. This is a causative agent for the chronic periodontitis. Actinobacillus, that is Agrobacter actinomycetum comitem, the new name, is a causative organism for the aggressive type of periodontitis, classification by AAP, that's American Association of Periodontology in 1999. So these are the take-home messages I gave it to you, and how they can join together by the help of co-aggregation and with the help of bridging. If they are not co-aggregated, they go for the bridging, and three forces are necessary: electrostatic, van der Waal, and hydrophobic forces will be there. This will complete the class to you. Next part 2 will be continued in future. So when I give it anything to you, I'm not only teaching a subject. Uh, Dentistry is a noble profession, medical is a noble profession, and teaching is a more noble profession. So we should have our fundamental discipline as a humanity based and human based should be there. When you're having the fundamental discipline and you're having very good skill, very good knowledge, all the things implement you as a very good person to the future community. So as my mentor, I'm thinking still now I will salute to our mentor, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, coming from a very lower family and reaching the highest post. And in my era, I was blessed to see such a person in a highest post of our citizenship, the first citizen of India, the people president. He will be a unique and different person, actually. So his quoting words are very important. Be silent in two situations. When you feel one can't understand your feelings from your words. Number two, when one can understand you without any words, he can able to do it. So this is the important quota you can utilize in future. This will avoid so many problems because man is a social animal and you are dealing every day with the patients and you are dealing a patient's life. So these things are fundamentals are very important to you. So this will finish your part 1 lecture. The part 2 lecture will be contributing upon the what are the microbial specificity, how it looks to be like that, and what are the preventive method in a brief mannerism will be there. Okay. So thank you so much for hearing my lecture in a concentrated way, and I think it will be useful to you. So if you are having any doubts, please try to contact me at any time in my mail ID, as you all know, or in my WhatsApp number. Thank you, my dear students. Please read the portion, whatever I taught you today itself. Thank you.